I'll come.
Nice to see you all.
Nice to see you, Frank.
All
Too.
three of you.
Only the select few are coming tonight, you know,
Yes.
just the best. Yeah.
Just the very select ones are here today.
The chosen few.
It's not even Mother's Day.
Yeah.
No, that's like another week.
Yeah. Well, we know that Sumner was moving.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Weekend.
Sumner's moving.
I hope that's going all right.
Yeah. I hope he has nice weather. Not too much rain.
It's been really pretty here today for a change. I don't know. It's like
Well, I am
some
in
days it's
Boston.
totally weird, and today it's nice. Oh, you're in Boston,
I'm
so
in
you're back
Boston,
there.
and
You should be
so
helping him move,
I can
Frank.
tell you that the weather is really nice. It's a little cool, but it's a clear day. It's not raining. So he should have a good day to
A
move.
good day to move. A good day to move. Yeah. That's a great sweater. That's one of your new ones, isn't it, Frank?
Yes, a couple of issues ago.
The
Uh,
Helix.
I forget exactly which issue it was.
Is it the Helix one?
Yes.
Judith said it was the Helix. Yeah, I think it was the Helix. I keep thinking every time this happens that we can't think of the name of the sweater or the issue. I need to just make myself a little cheat sheet on a 3x5 card. And it's like, okay, this one is this one was this time.
Yes.
Well,
Did you
there
bring
is so
some?
much.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Judith.
I was just gonna ask Frank if he brought some knitting with him while he's traveling.
Well, of
while
course.
you're traveling. Yes.
I started a new sweater.
Ooh.
Oh, I say.
It's a beautiful yarn. It's Malabrigo Arroyo, which is sport weight. So it's lighter than most yarns that I use. I usually use DK weight.
Mhm. Mhm.
But for the first time in a long time, this one is not for publication. It's just for my own enjoyment to knit
Just
a
for
challenging
fun.
sweater that I don't plan to write up the pattern and publish. I might publish it on Ravelry as as what Ron called a Phrancko recipe, where
Yeah.
you generate a pattern on Phrancko.com and then apply the changes in the recipe to create the design. And it just tells you how to modify the pattern rather than writing the whole pattern.
That's kind of cool. So what is it that you're going to do that's challenging on it?
Yeah.
This is a Black Lives Matter sweater. And let me see if I can show you what's going to be on it. It's going to be intarsia in the round, and it's going to be much more complicated than the intarsia and the round that I did for the latest publication, which just came out, by the way.
Oh,
Ooh, I'm going to have to check that out.
yeah.
Yeah,
So do I.
I can show you a picture of it first. This is the one that just got published.
Ooh,
Oh,
that
yes.
looks gorgeous, Frank.
You all saw me
That
working
is just
on
so
it.
striking. I know,
Yep.
but it's like, it's so lovely. Wow. Amazing. Mm.
Did you say the magazine's come out, has it?
Yes, Cast On magazine summer issue just came out. And
Okay.
this is called ITR Pied Sweater. ITR means in the round, and pied is multicolored.
Ooh,
So that's that.
that's neat.
And let me
I'll have
see
to check
if I
that
can
out.
find.
Oh, I have a question for you all then. I'm going to make a 3/4 length jacket with a hood in Aran weight. So I'm just about to do my swatch. So when I block my swatch, would you add any stretch to it? Or what I'm concerned about is that the weight of it
Mm.
will cause the swatch to distort. So, well, not the swatch, but the actual jacket to distort. So I don't know whether to stretch the swatch to try and replicate that, or not stretch the swatch and just wait and see how long the jacket gets.
What kind of yarn are you using, and what stitch are you using?
So it's going to have some cable in it. So it's going to be mostly stockinette with a cable down the back and a cable down the sleeve. Let me just see what the yarn is. It is pure wool, and it's Wensleydale long wool sheep.
Oh, that'll be a nice one.
Yeah.
Speaking as a spinner, that'll be really cool.
Yeah. So I just don't know how heavy the coat's going to be. Actually, I can work out how heavy the coat is because I know how much yarn I've got. So let me just.
Mhm.
Oh, it's going to. Right. So I've got 15 balls of wool and they're 100 grams each. So it's going to be a 1.5 kilos in weight, isn't it?
Mhm.
I don't have enough experience to answer.
No, I've never
Sorry.
done anything that big. So
Mhm.
yeah.
I don't have much to add to it either, unfortunately.
I guess I'm just going to have to give it a whirl and see what happens then.
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, for sure, Jenny, pay attention between, take the raw gauge first, and then when you block it, compare that and see if there's any stretch or any of that sort of stuff with that. A Wensleydale is a longer staple length, and so it will kind of seem to hold together more than some of the really short fibers.
Okay.
Ah,
Yes, it's quite grippy, isn't it? So
Yes, it is
yes.
very grippy. And so the thing with that was kind of the, I was thinking of what's the word? It's not crimp, it's something like that. But what is it? But the staple length is longer and it does kind of grip. The thing that it will where it grips a little bit more together, it isn't going to stretch as much. The it's like the stitches are not going to be able to slip around like they would. That's why I ask even the fiber of if it's like cotton or something like that, they're really going to slip a lot and then drag, of course, because it doesn't have any recoil. But that wool should have good recoil.
Okay. That's what I was thinking, and also plus because there's a cable in the back that should give it some stability as well. I think
It will give it some stability. Yeah, it will.
So I shall be doing my swatch tomorrow, and
Yay!
yeah.
So here is what's going on this sweater.
Oh, that's gonna be neat.
This is on the front, like a monogram. It stands for Black
Mhm.
Lives Matter, of course. And then on the
In
back
intarsia.
is this.
Oh
Oh,
my
wow.
goodness. Wow, that's hard.
Yeah.
So is that part intarsia and part stranded, or all
No, they're
intarsia?
both intarsia.
Wow.
Yes. I already started a sample of this in intarsia just to make sure that I could do it just by
Mhm.
itself flat. And I also did a sample of the BLM letters. I'm not sure if I'm going to do those intarsia or stranded. You know, you can do, I have to do an experiment with this, but
Well, the
there's a way
letters
to
seem
do
like they
intarsia.
would work better for intarsia.
The intarsia, there's a way to do intarsia. I don't know how to explain it. The BLM can be stranded in an intarsia block. If that
Oh
makes
my
sense.
goodness, I've never heard of that. Wow.
I'd get my head around that.
So
You're doing all these new things, Frank.
yeah, it's intarsia from the left edge to the right edge, and in between you carry two threads across in each direction and do stranded.
Oh.
And so it's a combination. Maybe I invented the technique, but I have to do a swatch to make sure my idea is really working. I did something similar to that in the test sweater for the last publication. If you remember, maybe you don't. I mean,
Mhm.
I think I only showed it in the very
When you did
beginning.
the little baby sweater like that?
Yeah, the little baby
And you,
sweater.
oh, you
put
did the
some-
part then down that part under the bodice or whatever
That's right. I did
on the
that
chest.
stranded.
Okay.
Stranded intarsia is what I call it. And I've
Oh.
thought about doing this. I did this whole thing in intarsia, and it takes lots of little bobbins to do all those different areas, right? I mean, because you got to have a bobbin for the middle of the B, and one between the B and the L, and then between the L and the M, and then one at the top of the M and at the bottom of the M. And those are just the white ones. And the black ones get complicated too. So I had like a dozen bobbins hanging off of this little tiny swatch, which I found difficult. And then I thought, let me try doing that the other way. So I've got to do a swatch that way to see how it works, but I haven't done that yet.
You see, I would just cheat and do it in double knitting.
Yeah, but then this,
And see, I've never done double knitting. I don't even know how to do double knitting.
yep, then
Oh.
everything is very double weight.
You'd only need the double knitting in the patch, wouldn't you? And where the letters are. So it wouldn't be that much extra weight.
Oh, you can do double knitting just in the patch?
Yes, yes. So you can like doing a pocket. So you end up with two lots of stitches, you know, you
right.
do a pocket, and then
Oh,
you
I
just have a
see.
double knitted patch in the middle of your
Oh, well, that's
jumper.
an interesting idea too. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
So like you're in Tarsia, you're going to go backwards and forwards, so there's no worries about carrying the double outside that patch. So you
Yes.
just do the single and then pick up and do the double and then go in the single and then back again. That way you've only ever got the one ball of each yarn and you haven't got 500,000 little bobbins hanging around.
Right. Well, that's similar to my idea, except I'm using intarsia with stranded work, and it will only be 2 balls of yarn. But maybe I'll do 2 swatches and try both techniques and see which one works best for me.
See which one you like.
Yeah.
Well, be aware that they're both new. None of the rest of us have ever heard of them.
Well, it's not something I read about. It's just something I figured out works.
So does that mean there's going to be an edition of cast on without one of your jumpers in then if this current one is?
Yes, I'm
for you?
skipping an issue, and I wanted some time just to explore things on my own and not feel rushed and under pressure to finish on time.
Yeah.
And we'll see how that works for me. So I am skipping the next issue. I've already put in a proposal for the following issue. So we'll just see how it goes.
From how you talked before, it seemed like that you kind of did that with your MHK too, that you worked on it for a while and then you took a time where you were just exploring and doing different things.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I took
Yeah.
6
Didn't
months
you
off
say
in the
that you did
middle.
that? Yeah.
Yeah, I took
Mhm.
6 months off in the middle and I did exploration of what do we call that? Short row color work, which resulted in the Archangel wing shawl and the Color Fund scarf.
Yep. And the
Later
scarf,
got
yeah.
published.
Yeah. What are you working on, Judith?
Another sock.
Another sock.
Yes. You know, I've bought yarns for a few projects, sweaters or cardigans, and I also bought yarn to make socks. And I found out that when I'm trying to go to sleep, I think of my projects, and I have more projects than I have time to knit, and it makes me a little nervous, you know. I can't fall asleep sometimes because I want to do this, I want to do that. So
I'm the same way. I can lie awake
we-
at night designing what I'm going to do next.
And see, I'm
sometimes
totally the opposite. I go to sleep immediately and then I wake up at 3:30 or 4 o'clock and I've got all these ideas and I have to get up and do it.
sometimes it does help me to fall asleep when I concentrate on something very specific, on how am I going to do it.
Mhm.
Then it helps me to sleep, you know, forget everything else that bothers me or
Yeah, that's.
So let's compare socks then, Judith. I'm nearly finished. Purple stripy socks. I don't
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
they're
Wow.
beautiful.
know. Purple and white
It's just
stripy socks.
So
I'm
Jenny, you're
trying
doing
to-
2 at a time?
Yes, 2 at a time. Yes.
oh,
Yeah.
that's good.
That way I don't have to
Good.
worry about how long I did one bit or how long I did the other bit. So they come out the same size.
Show us yours again, Judith.
Oh yeah, coming along.
Oh, look at that.
Oh yeah, that's nice. What
Now
kind of
the
heel did you do?
short row,
Okay,
the hourglass shaped, is that it?
I don't know.
That's
I don't
Yeah.
know very many. I'm
okay. Yeah, short rows.
Yes, mine is the fish lips kiss heel or something.
yeah,
FLKH.
I've done that one. I've done
Yeah.
that one too.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that one because I can now do that without thinking. I don't need to count or memorize or.
Well,
or
that
anything.
one, that one that I've done, it seems to fit the heel really good. I have most of the ones in my family have like a little bit of a wider foot, but their heels are tiny.
Uh-huh.
And the fish lip kiss heel seems to fit the heel cup really well.
Yes.
Could you remind me how it works? How the kiss fish?
It's a short row heel.
Okay.
But she uses what she calls a twin stitch. So, but it's just basically a straight short row heel. But it's the fish lips kiss heel. It's more about a sock recipe. So the whole pattern is about how to measure your foot, where to start for the
Right.
toe, where to start for the heel,
Right.
how many stitches to use, and that sort of thing. But the actual heel itself is a short row heel, and it uses a twin stitch instead of a. It's not probably similar-ish to.
It's similar to German short rows, but it's not. It's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the pattern is on Ravelry, Judith, and it's just $1. It's $1.
Oh, I'll look it up.
Yeah. So the instructions for the heel are actually about 3/4 of the way through the pattern, because a lot of it is about how you measure your foot and how you calculate how many stitches and where you stop for the heel and that sort of thing.
Because I've done them from that same pattern for like little tiny toddler socks all the way up to like size men's 12 or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it is worked toe up or cuff down? Toe
You
up?
can
Toe
do either, I think, but I do toe up.
up. I've done toe up too.
Okay.
And what
But
are
if
you
I'm
working
doing
on, Cindy?
I'm embarrassed. I'm still working on the day tripper cardigan. I got thinking that I was doing really great, and I got one sleeve done and partway through the second sleeve, and then she finally was able to try it on, and the sleeve is way too long. And as I was doing it, I was thinking, I think this is, well, then I went back and I actually counted by rows, and I'd been doing it while I was Zooming, so I was not paying attention. And so it's like, okay, no, we're not supposed to have 20 rows before we have a decrease. So that there is a reason why it's a little, by this sleeve, it's longer than it should be. So I had to rip out the border part, and so I'm still working on the second sleeve, but I'll get done here soon. Mostly what I've been doing this last week, and then last weekend I did the conference, and so I've been watching all the different classes that they had and printing the handouts and all the classes. It's just like there was so much information. It was just amazing.
It was amazing, wasn't it?
It really was. I mean, it was like all the way from some of the more beginning stuff, which I thought I knew, but still watching, I learned new things. It's like, oh, I never figured that out. To like the buttonholes and the pockets and the seaming, which is like, yay, that's level 2. I need to watch the seaming. Arenda did a good job on this. To all the design classes, and just about doing the schematics and how to do the neckline, and even just how to come at design. It was really, really, there was just a lot there. So I'm still watching a couple every day.
Wow.
So Jerry's gone to Idaho to visit his mom for a little over a week. And so it's like, okay, I don't have to cook. I don't have to clean. I don't have to do laundry. I can just knit as much as I want and watch knitting videos. So I'm enjoying it. It is. It's really nice. It's really nice. And he left me with a stash of chocolate, so I'm totally happy.
Oh, that's all you need.
Wait. It is. It really is. It really is. Looked like Walter just popped in for just a minute, and then he's gone.
Oh,
It just said Walter. It didn't show his picture. He was there for just a few seconds. Hopefully. I did go and take a sewing class this week, though. I have not sewn for years and years, but I wanted more about how should I change a pattern to make stuff really fit me for that. And so I talked with Maris about that, and because I want my next one to be a little bit different. I'm doing kind of a fine yarn, that milk protein one, and I want to have a lace around the bottom. I think I'm going to do the scoop neck, Frank, with that one. I think a little bit more ease through the body, and then have the lace portion.
Uh-huh.
But it's really, really bright colors. I'm trying to decide if I really am that brave or not.
Oh,
Nice.
wow.
This is the Anzula milk protein, and it's Floridora, and it's just a fingering weight, but it's 20% merino and 80% of the milk protein. But I love the color. It's just
80%
so
what?
milk protein.
Oh, really?
And it kind of it has a really lovely sheen, and
Yeah, see the
it's
sheen.
light and cool.
And what color would you call that?
I think it's really a bright coral.
I see.
The name of it is Floridora.
No, that doesn't
and
help.
it's an Anzula. No, it doesn't. No, it's the bright coral with some pink in it. But it's like, I like it.
It's
Wow,
beautiful.
that's really
So I think that'd
cool.
be really cute for a t-shirt with a little lace thing around the
Yes.
bottom.
I agree.
So
Another project.
another project, but another one for me. So I'm happy about that.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Are you visiting friends, Frank, in Boston?
Yes, I have a friend here that I just decided to come visit for a few days. And then I'm going to New York and spend some time there and see some plays. And
Wow.
and my husband is in Washington, D.C., so then I'm going to go to D.C. and we'll be there for a couple of nights.
Lovely.
You really seem to like to travel a lot.
I do. I love to go different places and see different things. I lived in Boston until the year 2000 when I moved out to San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
And I last came, well, I came back to Salem in 2017, but the last time I was in Boston was about 2003, I think it was. And so it's been interesting to drive around town, or I'll ride around town. I don't have a car, I'm in cars. Or walking. Yesterday I took a mile-and-a-half walk down and went to the neighborhood I used to live in and saw the place that I used to have. And the area has changed tremendously in 20 years. I guess that's what happens in cities, right?
I think
can't
it's
recognize
changed
anything.
everywhere in
Yeah.
that time period. I really do. But it's fun when you go back someplace and it's like it's familiar, but it's really quite not, because it's a little bit different.
Yes.
Well, how long does it take you ladies to do a pair of socks?
Just a week for me.
Wow. But Jenny, you're fast.
Yes, I'm not that fast.
Well, the socks are just like round and round and round and round and round, aren't they? So they don't make any thought, do they?
Well, the socks, when I do them, they always seem to go fast. It's like the toes I can get done pretty quickly, and then I just go and go and go until it's time to do the heel. And then it's like, oh, I have to focus on this. I can't be talking. I can't, don't talk to me. I can't watch TV, and I don't watch TV. I watch videos, but I can't be watching anything. I can't listen to music. I have to count.
Right.
So it's like that part gets put off for a while.
Oh no, I love
And
the
finally,
heel.
when I get done with that, then it's just like, okay, then go round and round and round again.
Yeah.
And that part, then the leg goes fast.
No, I love doing the heel because it's just like magic, An hour later, it's
Mhm.
oh, there you go. There's a heel. It just pops
Yeah.
out.
True.
That a few years ago, I did get distracted and managed to knit one sock with two heels on.
Really?
It wasn't doing two at a time, and I don't know how I did
So
it.
at
but
two
I
at
did
a
that.
time, you ended up with 3 heels and 2 socks.
Yes. I don't know how, and I don't know what I was thinking of, but yes.
I guess it's better to have 2 heels than it is to have 3 arms or something on a sweater.
It reminds me of the time I knitted mittens, and the backs of the mittens had a pattern and the front was plain. And when I finished the second one, I found out I'd knitted 2 left mittens.
Oh no.
So then you had to knit 2 rights to go with it, right?
That's right. I think I didn't. I think I knitted one.
Just knit
And
one.
threw away
The other
one.
one's like, well, you could just keep it for the extra. People are always losing a mitten. Just
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Hi, Ron.
Hi,
Hi,
Ron.
everyone.
Hello.
How are you all?
We're
Oh,
good.
you
How are
look so
you?
much
Good.
more like yourself
I-
now.
I know,
haven't
don't
seen
I?
you in a few weeks, and it's like you look like
Oh,
yourself.
no, I'm myself again. Yeah. My beard is almost of enough length to dye purple. So, and
Well,
I-
I didn't know you were going to do that, but
No, we've never seen you with
Yeah,
the purple. Yeah.
well, the gray goes purple. The rest of it is, the color it is. But
oh,
I guess
was
it
told-
doesn't. I guess
Yeah.
it doesn't show that much on the
on the screen,
on the screen.
on this.
when
Yeah.
it's just been done, it shows up the most. Otherwise, it's just like people peer at me and go, "Is your beard purple?" And I go, "What? What do you? What?"
What do you mean?
Yeah, see, I went bald young, so I was never able to do anything with my hair. So I had to wait until my beard started graying so I could like dye it colors.
So do you use the same dye to dye your beard that you do to dye your yarn?
No, I can't get my beard up to 200 and I think it needs to be 185 degrees. That's dangerous.
A curling iron.
Steam myself. So happy local yarn store day, everyone. I feel like I've
Oh,
been through the
yes,
ringer
today.
today.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm not used to seeing customers. Well, we've been getting customers, but there were a lot of people here all at once.
oh,
And it was a
nice.
little overwhelming. It was great. So many people were here and excited and spendy, which is great.
Yes.
We played Project Bag Bingo, which people responded to really well. I printed out little bingo cards with just like
I
stuff
saw those online that you were
on-
having for people.
And so people came and you could see like people were sitting on the floor, like going through all their stuff to check off like, okay, I've got tiny scissors, I've got a crochet hook. And so that was a lot of fun, but it was nonstop for 3 hours.
Hello,
Good,
Walter.
good.
You snuck in.
Hello. Sorry I'm late. I had internet problems. It wouldn't sign on.
Oh, well, we saw you come and go once.
Right. There's something with the internet. I had to shut everything off and turn everything back on. And you know how that stuff is.
Yes.
Well, no, Walter, my internet always works perfectly. I don't know what you mean.
No, never.
Always, it's like your internet is slow, mine will say. It's like-
Yeah.
or it will just pitch me out. And Yeah, can't live with it, can't live without it.
Mm-mm.
Makes us crazy.
Mhm. But it's great when it works and we can get together.
Yes,
Yeah,
keeps
So
us
far away.
entertained.
but so
Mhm.
close.
So, Frank, I was hoping you could explain something to me, or just like walk me through what happens in the program when you make a change to the neck circumference.
What
What
happened?
does, like, I don't need to know about the codes, but I mean, what
Okay.
happens to the sizes of the pieces? Like, what changes when I change the neck circumference?
Oh, you want me to remember how it works? Oh,
That would be really helpful.
you
Frank.
know,
You
it's a
could-
mystery.
You can get back. I mean, does it make the shoulders, the cast-ons wider, or?
I know it makes the neck wider. I can't remember if it actually makes the neck deeper for the crew neck, because the crew neck, the depth of the crew neck is dependent on the width of the shoulder, at the shoulder, top of the shoulder cap.
Yeah,
And it has to fit in it, because that's how I keep it simple, by not having you shape the shoulder cap at the same time as the neck shaping.
Yeah.
But with the round neck and the scoop neck, which are also rounded necks, I think
Yeah.
they do get deeper.
and the Henley as well, right?
Yeah, the Henley, well, no, the Henley is more like the crew neck. I think it
Always
stays
a crew.
as tight as the crew neck.
So the reason I ask is because I generated the pattern for my Henley,
Uh-huh.
the ruched sleeves, and Perrin was wearing it yesterday, and because it's designed to have the top buttons open,
Uh-huh.
it pulls to the back,
Oh, no.
which I have time to fix now, but
Oh, no.
and so I'm thinking of ways to, like, if you just buttoned it up more, probably wouldn't do that. But I don't know. I'm toying around how I want to deal with that. And
Mm.
my current thoughts include monkeying with the neck circumferences as a last resort. One of
Yeah.
my other thoughts is to not.
Do you mean, do you mean when you do the sweater again, or are you thinking about modifying the one you made somehow, or what?
Oh, I'm not modifying the one I made. It is what
Okay,
it is.
yeah,
But I'm
This
it-
is that's
the
where
one
you
I made-
start. It's hard to modify where you started.
Yeah, my the one I've made is I treat it as a prototype.
Okay.
And now I can look at it and see what changes I want to make.
Uh-huh.
So I was thinking of one solution is to not include short rows, only at the back.
Wait, not include them at the back, or do include them at the back?
Not including them at the back.
Why is
Why,
that?
wouldn't it make it longer if you do the short rows in the back?
It would make it longer in the back and lower the back neck away from the back of the neck.
You could just knit across the back of the neck when you're doing the back. I mean, cast on all the stitches at the top and have no back. If you
Yeah,
want to do that.
that's true as well.
But it sounds like the front is not deep enough, and I would think that might.
The front is too deep because the it's worn open.
Yes.
Right? But I thought you said it pulled to the back.
Yes, it does pull. to the
So
back.
I was thinking the shoulders fitting is what's adjusting where the neckline is, right? I mean, I think.
It doesn't look like it's pulling on the shoulders in a very, when I was looking at Perrin wearing it, the sleeve caps appeared to be in the correct place.
Right, but the neck was too high. So I was thinking if you you lowered the neckline,
Yeah, lower the front of the neck.
the shoulders would be in the same place, but the neckline would be lower instead of pulled up against the neck.
It is not, it's not pulled up against the neck
Oh.
because you button. I've made a 9-inch deep Henley placket.
Yes.
Right?
The bottom 2 buttons are the ones that are meant to be worn.
Oh, I see
So
what you're saying.
it's open to slightly deeper than the V-neck.
Uh-huh. Well, okay, so what is happening? Are you saying the back is pulling down?
Yes,
The back goes too deep?
yes. The
Well,
front
that's
is
like-
where I want it.
Oh, well, then maybe it's a matter of just not, see, the pattern has a little bit of a scoop on the back of the
Yeah.
neck. You could just
Yes.
eliminate that scoop by casting on all the stitches across the back.
And then picking up.
And you could still do the shoulder shaping,
Yeah.
but the back would be higher.
Yeah.
A lot of sweaters are just like that anyway. I don't know why I went down a few stitches on the back when I designed it.
Well, you wanted to make it challenging.
Yeah, everything, like every other sweater wears fine, but I mean, it also might be something about Perrin's body. I haven't tried. Our other roommate is the same size as him, so I could try it on him and say, do you have a neck sticking out of the back there?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to go so far as to putting in like short rows in the back because it will ruin the silhouette.
No, you don't need to do that. I
Don't
scoop
want
out the back in the pattern. Just don't scoop it out.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean, right?
I do. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I wanted to pick your brain.
Instead of knitting 2 sides and then knitting a few rows down and then joining them, just cast
Yeah,
on
the
all the
correct
stitches
amount.
across the top. I think
Yeah.
that might do it.
That might help. Because
I would try it on the other person first to
Yeah.
see
I
if
intend
you're having the same thing. Because some of us have more, our shoulders are rounded forward more, and that's going to cause it to be different. And some of us are more open. So
Perrin's posture, he stands like he has a sunburn.
football player.
So, but yeah, I'm not looking like, I'm not at the stage where I am finding the solution. I'm at the stage where I'm farming solutions. So I wanted to know what happens when you make those adjustments to the pattern generation. It sounds like
Well,
it's
all I
time-
can tell you is it gets wider, and I can't tell you if it gets deeper, but you know what? I could do an experiment and just see. That's what I can do. You guys talk among yourselves and I'll be back in a minute.
Oh, yes, we always just talk among ourselves. We're happy to do that.
He's going to join the bachelorette party
Yes.
a few minutes.
Oy. Is anyone working on anything new?
Try not to. I want to finish this sweater.
Just sucks for me.
Just sucks.
And not that it sucks. I'm sorry. It sucks.
One sock. Jenny's doing
One
two
sock.
socks at a time.
Right,
Yes.
right.
You doing them on Magic Loop, Jenny?
Yes. Yeah.
I made a sock once. Actually, I think I've made 2 socks in my day.
They match.
No, they were samples for the shop. I don't wear socks.
Oh.
I
I
only wear,
noticed that when you came to Seattle, you were just in flip-flops, and it's
Yeah.
like, people in Seattle don't wear flip-flops.
I don't get
They wear
cold.
Birks, but they don't wear flip-flops.
Yeah,
I wish I
just
was like that.
wearing my flip flops. Like, yeah, that's all I wear. I have
Ron, do you drive with them?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well-
my friend in Florida too. He wears flip flops all the time.
So it must be a Floridian / Californian thing.
I guess,
Well,
because of the weather.
my brother's from Texas and he does it too all the
Yeah.
time. And he comes up here and he wears the flip-flops and I'm just like, gosh, Jake. And then he complains about it's freezing because
Oh.
where he lives, it's like 80, 85
Yeah.
all the time.
No,
It's
see,
right down on the Gulf.
for me, the weather the week I was there was just delightful. Like
It
that,
was nice. It was really
that
nice.
is how I live, because it was already in the mid 90s
Mm.
here, which is gross and rude. I don't know whose idea warmth was, but I am not about it.
Whose
So yeah,
idea? Whose
If
idea
we
was
wa-
it to live in California?
I was born here. My parents.
Well, why
Their
didn't you
fault.
move somewhere
I did.
cooler?
I lived in New York City for a time. But once again, this is where my parents are, you know, filial devotion being what it is.
Yeah.
I have to look after them. But
And you do, you even knit them sweaters. We've seen them.
I
Yeah.
do. And I know what side my bread is buttered on.
That's right. That's right.
And in
How's
general,
the design class going? Or the design certification
right
class?
now I'm just sort of reading through, looking at materials, percolating ideas for my final
Mhm.
projects. They want traditional designs with a twist, whatever that means. And I don't know if that means like it's an Aran sweater, but it's blue. Or if they want an actual twist. So I'm going to make an actual twist, I think. I'm going to do either a Gansey type or an Aran that is like a misstruck penny. And all of the cables will be off center as though the sweater got stamped, but it wasn't in right. So one side will be stockinette, and then the sweater's patterning will begin here and go off the edge of the sweater. That's where
Well, that
my
is with the
percolate-
twist. That is with the
that's with the
twist.
twist, like just traditional Gansey designs or cables, whatever,
Mhm.
but like they were pressed
That's
into
cute.
the sweater and the
That's
sweater wasn't in the right place. That's
That'd be like one of those videos that are recorded when they're off center and you keep trying to look round the corner of the
yeah.
and
So-
yeah.
Don't you love that when people post a picture and it's like, it's this way? It's like, well, couldn't you just rotated your picture?
Some of the feedback that Donna gave in my first thing was that like she looked forward to, because you write out things that you're inspired by, and one of the
Right.
things I'm inspired by is like traditional printing and process printing and mid-century printing I like. And so I was thinking about ways to incorporate that, because she specifically mentioned thinking that was an interesting thing to incorporate. And one of the things I like about like old mid-century comics or offset printing is when the plates didn't line up properly. And you get like interesting looking misprints, or the colors are off, or the lines just aren't in the right place. And it's like, how
Yeah.
do you do a sweater where the lines aren't in the right place? And then I thought about, just something traditional like a Gansey, but pattern is
A
over
little
here.
bit, yeah.
And it's
That's
asymmetrical, which is kind of
Yeah.
contemporary, that
Yeah.
sort of hip asymmetrical look, but on the proper shape of like either just a drop shouldered Aran or with the underarm gusset. If I do a Gansey, like that would all be correct, and, like,
Traditional part.
traditional and made in the right shape, but the patterning would be in the wrong place. So that's where I'm at with the design. I've just been,
That's an interesting idea.
what do I
Yes.
do? And it's
Yes.
definitely something sort of fashiony. Like it's not, certainly not for everyone, but it does have sort of an appeal to me. So that's where I am. Finding ways to synthesize.
Maybe Stephen West would like that.
Maybe. It's not brioche.
I know, he brioches everything.
Brioche and neon colored yarn.
Yeah, yeah.
Like he does a lot of great stuff if you like brioche and neon colored yarn.
Yeah.
I like neon colored yarn.
Yeah.
Like brioche?
I have to admit, no, brioche, no.
I'm making
Brioche makes me to put my head down on the desk.
half fisherman's rib as a sample for the shop. I'm doing a little Andrea Mowry's new thing. Not that she does the same thing over and over again either.
A lot of men knit Andrea Mallory stuff. The guys in Connecticut love her.
Really?
Yeah.
I made her night shift shawl to sell yarn. Or no, I made the shift just to make the shift. And I'm doing whatever this new one is. Impulse something. Impulse. I don't know what it's called. But I had a yarn that would be good for it. So I'm taking a quick break to make samples to move this yarn. I can't just keep knitting Phrancos every day. But I'm sort of in the process of writing out the patterns for publication for the last two Phrancos, the
Hot fudge.
hot fudge sweater and the Drake Henley. So I'm getting all those in a row because the formatting is the same. I think the directions will be the same. So I've got the first pattern I did, and I'm comparing what I did then to now. So that's a lot of work. So this is very easy. It's just a fisherman's rib, half fisherman's rib even, so it's even easier.
Well, I've been reading a lot. For level 2, I have to do 4 book reviews and then write a history of knitting. And so I'm reading each book all the way through and then writing the book review. And so I'm on the 4th book right now. And it's really kind of interesting. The one I'm doing is Knitter's Companion by Vicky Square. But one of the ones I reviewed was Ulla Engqvist. It was a Swedish one. That was from 2016. And then I did one of Deborah Newton's one.
Which one?
Designing Knitwear. I think that was her first one.
I see.
Yeah.
You know, that
And
Knitter's
then-
Companion was probably one of the first books I bought.
Was it? I
Yeah.
had not seen that one before. And then when I was going back over the bibliography and checking off things that I have in my library, it was like, oh, I don't have this one. And so I looked it up and I was reading articles in Cast On and it was listed as one of the resources for some of them. And so it's like, oh, I want to see this one. And I like the way it's laid out.
That's
really
the small little book that's spiral bound.
Mhm.
And it's made to fit in your knitting bag, so you can
in your
have
knitting bag. Yeah, it's
Yes,
little
that's it.
like this.
Right.
And then it has the description and the pictures for the different things. So it's really easy to lay out flat. Okay, here's how I do an SPP, you know, or whatever. Very, very easy to follow along. And so I'm liking this one. This is I think is an interesting reference. And,
I was constrained to do a review of one of Shirley Payton's knitwear design workshop or whatever it's called for the design program. But there was a lot to like about it, but I had a lot of complaints as well.
Well, when you do a book review, you get to do the complaint part too.
I did, and so I was happy that my response wasn't, Donna's response wasn't, you were mean about my favorite book. She was very open about, like, yeah, those are a lot of big flaws in this book. I'm glad you noticed them. So good, because I don't know, I'm a fault finder, I guess.
Well, sometimes I think that's how we learn and discover, is by looking and seeing. It's like, okay, this works, this doesn't, we need to change this.
I mean, I think my major complaint, well, there's too much math in it, too many examples of the formulas being used. Like, you just shown me this with the numbers 5 and 4. I do not need to see this with the numbers 7 and 5. It's the same formula.
Yeah, that's redundant.
And she only addresses women's silhouettes. The book is not called, like, it purports itself to be a complete book of knitwear design.
Right.
If you have boobs. Everyone else, no.
Oh, God.
It's like, this is a complete course and you do not mention silhouettes for people who don't have boobs?
When
You
was
mentioned the
when
silhouette
was
for like 50% of the population.
But like, even if people are only designing for themselves, yes, knitters are mostly women, but lots of us aren't. And
when was this
people who
book?
are women design things for other people.
When was this book written?
I don't know, day before yesterday.
No, so is this
it's
the duet thing or the
This
other one?
century.
This
Um,
century.
Let me see.
So, okay.
Is it this one? Is that the one you tried?
Oh, sorry, I tabbed out. Let me look at you.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah, that's the one.
That's the one. Okay, I'll look it up. It's Knitwear Design Workshop by Shirley Payton.
Yes. Hold it up again now that I have you spotlighted.
Okay. Here we go.
Here it is.
This
Shirley
is from
Payton.
2019.
There
Yeah.
you go. It's contemporary. And there
Yeah,
is a
wait,
lot of
wait.
very, very good and useful stuff in it.
Mhm.
I think there is one picture of a sketch of an Aaron or drop shoulder something that might be on a man. But it's just a sketch. And there's no discussion of it, which I find a little off-putting if you bill your book as being a complete reference.
It is a very good book for what it does, I think. But
Yeah, no,
I
there's a
hadn't
lot.
thought of it in that terms. So I went back and checked as best I can quickly. And it looks like when you make your neck larger around, the only thing that changes is the width of the neck, which doesn't sound right now. Maybe I need to go back and rethink that.
Okay. So that would, it becomes wider by, like, the cast on number changes.
The number of cast on stitches would change.
Yeah.
Yes, the neck gets wider, so the shoulder gets narrower.
Yeah. But the depth and all of that
The
is
depth is
static.
staying
Well, but you
much
would
the
think
same.
The gap.
you would think the depth shouldn't necessarily change by the neck getting wider, because the depth would be based on the length of the body and that sort of stuff more.
Well, it's the depth is, it's actually changes based on which of the three crew neck
Well,
sides
yes,
you use,
for
but
that it is.
that's
Yeah,
the only thing that changes the depth.
yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, now I know if and I can do that kind of alteration longhand. I don't need to generate, I don't need to re-input and try and have you regenerate patterns for me, because I can change the cast on number myself and get that effect if I decide to swatch that.
That's right. You can do that.
All right. Well, now I've got some
Oh,
things.
except that that's not the only thing that's going to change, of course. The shaping of the neckline is going to change. I guess maybe the cast on stitches at the bottom of the front neckline will increase. I didn't really look at that.
Probably so. But again, that's all.
But it must fill in the whole neck. So
Yeah, it would just be to change that.
It just gets to the correct stitch count
that's right.
in X number of rows. Well, thank you. That gives me some things to think about. I'll go try the sweater on a few other people that it might fit and see what happens to the back neck.
Do you remember what the neck width and the neck circumference was that you put in?
I think I have it open. Oh, I don't want to keep us going for too much after our time.
Oh, are we late? Oh, how did that happen? My goodness.
How time flies.
It
Yeah,
does.
Well, I can think about it. And oh, here the original Henley 6.5 was the neck width.
That's the neck width. What was your neck circumference? Look at the bottom of the pattern. What did you enter
Yes.
for neck circumference?
Here I go.
Sounds like it might have been 16 or 17.
16.
Yeah. Maybe the reason it works is because most necklines are, pretty close to the same size.
Yeah.
Doesn't vary a lot. Well, anyway, I had no idea that hour went away. How did
yeah,
that
it
happen?
just flew by.
I think we just laughed a lot.
I guess so. Well,
whole
let me
day.
switch to gallery view, and we can all say goodbye for another week, and
Okay,
I'll see you next week.
all right.
Bye.
Have a nice,
Bye.
bye-bye.
I forgot
Okay,
to
bye,
record.
Have a
everybody.
nice, bye.
I forgot to record, everybody. There's
No,
no
you were
recording.
recording.
Yeah.
You were recording. You've been recording.
You've been
Oh,
recording.
I did? Oh, okay.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
started recording when
You're right.
we were
Now
first
I
here.
remember.
Everything's recorded.
I don't know what I'm doing. Bye-bye.
Let's try this again next
Bye.
week.
Ciao.
Bye.